Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Coutinho, and I feel called to speak on behalf of the incident with the Dalai Lama in Tibet. And it's probably coming out enough now that it was a total misunderstanding. But for some reason, I am energetically tied to it as I just stumbled into it through posting on my Facebook and probably also because I have a deep spiritual heritage that I feel that I have inherited from Tibetan culture, and I am honoring that. But more than that, I am honoring compassion and truth and love, which, as a wisdom teacher myself, my life is devoted to and dedicated to. And I want to speak about what I saw so deeply and poignantly in our culture and how social media is making it worse. There are benefits to social media, and there are terrible, terrible things in social media, which is the propaganda that also can be seeded through social media. And unless people who are conscious and are on a spiritual journey actually first take the discernment into their own hearts and be able to recognize and be willing to have open hearts to recognize true compassion, then we will not stand a chance if there really are darker forces that through propaganda are trying to divide us. It is a call that we need to really tune in to what truth is. And I find it very ironic and poignant that after the Dalai Lama stuck his tongue out and hit the child and tickled him and all the grandfatherly things that he did that everyone was saying was pedophilia, unfortunately, he put the child's hand to his head and started praying and said, "Do not follow the people who go out there and kill each other. Follow the people who engender peace." And there is a video of the mother and the child speaking after this interaction and saying how the child specifically speaks to how radiant and a good vibration that the Dalai Lama has, and how he inherited this beautiful good vibration. And the mother was speaking about how blessed she felt from the interaction. And the reason I posted was because I saw two posts talking about the Dalai Lama being a CIA shill and a pedophile and all of those things. And I watched the video. I watched the propaganda video first. I didn't even see the full video, which I then later did see. And the propaganda video felt like propaganda to me. I posted on social media about it. And I was attacked by people that I know and people who I trust and respect their thoughts. And I was hurt, not personal, like hurt, well, maybe, but hurt by seeing what the Dalai Lama was saying, which was the vicious attack of how people kill other people. I was seeing that energy throughout the whole thread, is that people were more tied to their own viciousness, their own opinions, their own righteousness, than actually being willing to see truth and actually being able to see the compassion that this old grandfatherly figure in the form of the Dalai Lama was bestowing on this child. And today I had a vision while I was working out, and I was crying personally. I was crying because I feel like my life personally is devoted to bringing truth and wisdom and compassion. And instead, what goes viral nowadays is drama and slander. And a lot of people are now defending that, oh, well, child abuse, and when that actually didn't happen. And I'll get to that in a moment, but that is upsetting to me that people are defending, well, it happens in the world, so it was natural for us to throw stones and to slander a man who has dedicated his entire life to trying to benefit the entire world and raise the consciousness and really has ran for his life. We have so much wrong with the leadership in this world. And for those of us who are trying with all of our might to allow compassion and consciousness and truth and trust and love to prevail on earth, and then to see my colleagues, really, Western world, privileged people who are educated, who are coaches, spew such vitriol and hateful language, not only at me, but about just judgments and about the whole thing. It really was it was a shock. It was an eye opener for me. And it made me very sad because it made me really see where we are as a culture. And then I had another vision about the story of Jesus Christ. Again, I'm not a Christian. I was raised Jewish. I teach the Vedas from India and sprinkling throughout all religions, universal love and wisdom. And you can look at my content for all of that. And I do this rainbow warrior thing where I blend all cultures and religions, because the universal love that is threaded throughout all religion is what I believe truth is, and that's what I serve, and that's why I do my spiritual work, and that's what I'm in service to. And there's a meme. I'm gonna play it at the end of this video, or maybe I'll put it in the beginning. It's not a meme, it's an episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is radioactive and he looks like an alien, and he says, "I bring you love." And the mob goes, "It brings love, kill it." And it's the same with the story of Jesus. Jesus teaches universal love, universal consciousness, and they string him up. And there's something very visceral in this lesson for me, that even people who I respect, or even people who I think that are conscious, are so easily either manipulated by the media or actually have so much anger or unprocessed grief or emotion inside them that as soon as they see a place to throw it, they do. This is very toxic for our culture, and this is a shadow of social media. And we have to be very careful, because there was something with the Holocaust where it said, like, if we let them come, if first they came for the Jews, first they came for this, first they came for that, and then they came for me. And if we allow this in our society, this cancel culture, if we allow people being able to mob mentality group on someone and take them down, it can happen to any of us. And it's not right. It's not an integrity to do this. So I believe that the media needs to apologize to not only the Dalai Lama, but the people of Tibet. Because if the Dalai Lama really is the Dalai Lama, he doesn't care. He has suffered worst from the Chinese Communist Party and is able to love his enemies and do the practice of Tonglen in Tibet, which is sending the enemies love. He is a better man than I. It is hard for me to do that. I do not have the bodhisattva powers in this incarnation. I can hold compassion, and I understand that the ignorance is real, but I think our Western privileged righteous culture, who think that we understand so much about spirituality and can't discern between a propaganda video on social media and then throw stones, so much to call someone a pedophile, that is slander. And even though it is, say people are like, "Oh, just kidding, that was wrong," the damage is irreparable, and the damage is done to someone's reputation, and that is long standing. And the fact that we are so quick to judge and so quick to shame, and it can happen to any of us. It can happen to any of us. And we are so quick to do that to each other. We really need to check in with ourselves and our true nature and find that space of compassion within ourselves so that we don't cause trauma. It's so interesting, isn't it? A lot of the people that I'm speaking about, we're talking about, oh, but the child doesn't have rights and he kissed the child and it's about child abuse and oh, well, maybe he was okay, but then the Catholics and this exists, this child abuse exists in our culture, so we should be upset about that. But none of that is appropriate in this conversation. What's appropriate in this conversation is, hey, I'm sorry to the Tibetan people. I'm sorry that we said that we slandered something we don't even know about. We jumped to conclusions and we tore down. And that's what's so heartbreaking to me, is that even when you would want to educate other people about what they're doing is not right and not wrong, they would rather defend that brutality within them, that anger within them, the vitriol within them, than actually be enlightened to truth. And I'm putting this out as a prayer that I desire deeply, for there to be waves of compassion awakened in the hearts of the collective, and for those people who were misled and misinformed and triggered and threw stones, next time something like this happens, check into your heart first. Don't react. Make sure what you're about to say or share or post on social media is true. Be an agent for the good, please. This energy of truth does not go viral as much as the energy of propaganda and slander. We create our society. We have the power to create a new society. In fact, that is exactly what I hope that I am doing with my life and being a way shower of that. And if you are a coach or a healer and you are in leadership to others, you have to be in integrity, mind, body, and soul. Open your heart. Listen with your heart. Find compassion. Do not spread for your own algorithm. Do not spread hate in this world. Aho, namaste, and so it is. In love, light, and warrior spirit. This is Michelle Coutinho, Michelle Infinity Online. It's an honor to serve, and it's an honor to teach. And that is what I do. Aho.
Hello, children. I bring you love.
It's a monster! Kill it! Kill it!
It's not a monster. It's Mr. Burns.
Oh, it's Mr. Burns. Kill it!